All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you for joining us. Please hold one moment before we get started. All right, thanks all for joining us this evening for our 30-minute informational webinar on the Solar for All Bristol program. My name is Emily Basham, and I am a manager of partnership development at the Connecticut Green Bank. Thanks for joining us. Everyone is muted. If you have any questions, you can enter them into the chat bar of the GoToWebinar platform. And you can also contact us, the webinar organizers. We'll have our contact information at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded, so we will post the recording tomorrow or sometime soon in the future. And if you can go ahead and ask any questions that you want through the chat, we'll try to get to a couple within the 30 minutes that we have. We've got a handful of folks that are presenting this evening, so we're going to get started. So just a couple of notes before we jump in. This is our agenda. Everyone is muted and you can use the chat feature to talk to us. If you have to leave the webinar before we're finished, you can use this QR code on the right hand of the screen. If you open your phone camera and you hold it, hover it over this QR code without taking a picture, a window will pop up and prompt you to go to the PosiGen.com Solar for All Connecticut website. That website is where all of our campaign information and our webinar information is being posted. It's also where you can enter in information to schedule a solar assessment. So this QR code will be available at the end of the webinar as well. Solar for All Bristol is a community campaign in the city of Bristol. It's a partnership between the city of Bristol, the Energy Commission in Bristol, the Connecticut Green Bank, and PosiGen. So this is a community-supported initiative that brings solar and energy efficiency services to the community. And we use a campaign-style outreach method to make sure that those who previously hadn't gone solar hear about this opportunity and are able to take advantage of this opportunity to reduce their household energy costs and use renewable clean energy. Since we launched this program in 2015, 3,000 families in Connecticut are participating. They've gone solar with PosiGen through the Solar for All program. And on average, they're seeing $700 of net annual savings in the first year. And this program has particularly helped the underserved community or those who have lower than median incomes because there's such high program eligibility. So we're really happy to bring this program to Bristol. And I'll now turn it over to David Oakes from the city of Bristol to just say a couple of words about the program. David, oh, there we go.
Hi, thank you, Emily. Good afternoon. My name is David Oakes. I'm the Facilities and Energy Manager for the City of Bristol Public Works Department. I want to thank you all for taking the time on such a beautiful day to attend our first webinar for the Solar for All campaign in Bristol. I hope you and your families are doing well during these unprecedented times. As Emily mentioned, the city's partnered with the Connecticut Green Bank and PosiGen to help assist Bristol homeowners access home solar in an effort to reduce costs and promote sustainability in the city. For those of you who are attending who might not be aware, the City of Bristol is a bronze level certified municipality in the statewide sustainable CT program. We were one of the first municipalities in the state to do so back in 2018. Solar home systems are a great way for the homeowners to live more sustainably and save money, especially during these unpredictable COVID era that we're in. Results in higher levels that have been resulting in higher levels of home energy use due to quarantine measures and working from home. The savings from home solar often allow homeowners to use those savings to put back into the local community and businesses, and thereby strengthening the city as a whole. To tell you a little bit about PosiGen, PosiGen is a New Orleans-based company that was founded in 2011, around the time of Storm Katrina when that hit. The founders discovered that low to middle income families were being shut out of the solar home market and reducing their expenses due to a lack of income or the higher credit scores that other national solar companies require to participate and benefit in these programs. PosiGen made it their mission to reach these marginalized families and homeowners. Also about PosiGen, we are working with Susan Young. She's the community and marketing manager for PosiGen, and she'll be leading the campaign on their side in Bristol. One thing about Susan, she's not just an employee, she was first a customer of PosiGen. In 2014, she acquired a system. She was so enraptured and fascinated with the system and savings, she reached out to them, and her inquiries led to her being hired. Susan wanted to inform other families in the community about the benefits she was experiencing, and Susan's been with them for 5 years now, and she's been very passionate about the Solar for All mission. So without further ado, I will turn the floor over to Susan Young. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you so much, David. Okay, great. All right, hi everyone. I really just wanted to start off by saying what going solar with PosiGen means to me. When I actually, a few years ago, I had looked into renewable energy, I was told that, it was only for the rich. You had to have a down payment of $30,000 and all these stipulations that I was not able to meet. Once I heard about the PosiGen model and being able to offer renewable energy, solar and energy efficiency to every homeowner in the state of Connecticut, I mean, it really was a life changer for me. What works definitely for me is that for a program like PosiGen, it's really looking into the needs of the families that are in our local community. I am happy to have Bristol be on board with this mission for having solar for all for their residents as well. So I've looked into solar for many years. Prior to PosiGen or before PosiGen or without PosiGen, I don't think I would ever be able to have been able to get the solar and energy efficiency program that I currently am blessed with. There's so much difference now versus when I had no solar system. And for many families, the difference could be, whether it's getting stressed out over that ever increasing utility bill or being able to plan a mini family vacation. With the PosiGen solar model, solar is not just for the rich. It's not just for people with the high credit. It's not just for people that has, certain income. It is for everyone. So henceforth, the program Solar for All. With that, just to give more information about the system and the program, I am going to be turning over to Jonathan Drum. Jonathan.
All right, thank you, Susan. You can advance the slide there, Emily. Great, thank you. So My name's Jonathan. Thank you. I'm one of the sales managers in our Hartford office, and I'll take a few minutes and kind of explain the basics of solar and how it works and how we work with folks throughout the state and specifically, how we're looking to work with the folks in Bristol. Um, One of the things that we do, which is different than most other solar companies in the area, is we pair energy efficiency with solar power. So creating energy is one thing, but saving energy helps in the entire scope of what we're looking at. So we'll talk a little bit more in detail on each. If you can go to the next slide there for us, please, Emily. How does solar work in general? You see solar probably all over town. There's quite a few solar arrays all throughout Bristol. The sun will hit the solar panels, turns it into an electrical current, which is DC current. That DC energy has to be converted to AC to be used in the home. So it travels from the solar panels to an inverter, which changes the electricity from DC to AC and sends it into the house. So anything that you're using at that moment would be using the solar power. It's an absolutely gorgeous day out today. Most of your things that you're running in the home would be running off of the sun right now because it is absolutely gorgeous out. What happens most of the time, especially when we're in a normal working environment and people are not at home during the day, is we're generally producing more energy than we're using. And that extra electricity actually gets sent back out to the grid. Eversource takes it and they do what they like with it, but it gets banked for you in a figurative bank that because of something called net metering in the state of Connecticut. Specifically, net metering says that for every kilowatt hour of electricity that you send out to the grid, you get a free kilowatt. Ultimately, you get to keep everything that you generate. I akin it to rollover minutes or paying extra electricity into your grid. And then when you turn the lights on at 10, 11 o'clock at night, you're obviously not producing any energy because it's dark out, but you would pull your electricity from the grid or Eversource, but first you would pull from that banked energy that you built up during the day. And once you've done exhausting that banked energy, you pull the rest from Eversource. So our objective is to meet with the homeowner and look at what kind of energy they've been using and then match that up with what can we produce for you on your home, and that will depend on a lot of factors, the direction of your home and the trees that are around it and things like that. If you can move to the next slide as well. You're generating power, that, as we say, that's one thing. Saving you energy is another thing. So we sit with the homeowner and we talk about how are you using energy in the home? Do you have rooms that are colder than others? Do you have drafts? We want to fix all those things for you, because if we can generate you power, that's fantastic, lower your electric bill, but let's go a step further and save you energy, not only on the electric side, but on your heating, your cooling, all different aspects of your home. So we know that we are typically reducing homeowners' energy costs by about 20 to 30% on average across the state. And it's a multitude of, you can see on this slide, the multitude of areas that we're focusing on. We're certainly coming out and doing air duct work. We're sealing up windows and doors with caulking. We're giving you light bulbs and just a slew of things that we won't go into every little detail of all of the pieces that we do with energy efficiency. But the important thing is that we're pairing both energy efficiency and solar to not only decrease the amount of energy you've been using, but also decrease the amount of energy that you're buying from the utility company going forward, because the solar array will hopefully offset the majority of that. If you go to the next slide, kind of give you an idea of where you are today is basically just sending money to the utility company. Going forward, you would still have a relationship with the utility company. We view them as kind of a backup to solar, but they're also, Eversource and UI, they're the companies that are manning the wires. So we still have to be connected to them in the state of Connecticut. So when we work with folks, there's absolutely no money out of pocket, and we do all of this work for you, where we get the system installed, we do the energy efficiency work, save you a ton of money. And going forward, you would have an electric bill that may or may not go up or down depending on how much energy we're able to produce for you with your solar array, your solar cost stays fixed for the next 20 years. So ultimately, you find a dramatic amount of savings when you combine what you're paying with Eversource and the solar bill is a lot less than what you've been paying overall. If you go to the next slide, we talk a little bit more in detail about the program specifics. So we offer a 20-year fixed cost. 20 years, your price will never change with the solar array, and that cost is dependent on the size system you need. As it's been mentioned a few times, we're the only solar company in the entire country that has no credit requirement and no income requirement. That's huge. We don't care what your income looks like. We don't care what your credit looks like. Our job is to help you save money. There's no money out of pocket, and you have a fixed cost for the duration of the 20-year lease. We work with the Green Bank in conjunction, and we came up with 4 system sizes that fit most people's needs. We can do variations of those 4 sizes, but in essence, we have a small, medium, large, and extra large offering. If you used a lot of electricity, more than all your neighbors, and you need 2 large systems, we can do that. We can work around your needs to make sure that we're going to save you money. But that's the most important thing to us, is that we're saving you money, we're saving you energy, we're saving you money. Lastly, on this slide is all the maintenance and upkeep is included. It's one of the values, one of the great things about having a lease is that we take care of anything that ever happens. A tree falls and breaks a panel, we come out, we take care of it. Something happens that's out of the ordinary, we come out, we make sure that the system is up and running. If you go to the next slide, the last piece here, just kind of talking about the process. Step 1 is really meet with one of our folks. We'll talk to you about your electric bill. Where's your money going today? What are your rates? How much have you been paying, and what energy have you been using over the past year or so? We'll do a free evaluation, take a look at what we can do for your home with solar, how much money we can save you. Assuming we can save you money, we start the process by filling out an application, and step 1 here that's circled is an assessment, where we have an engineer come out and physically walk your property. He evaluates your roof to make sure that it's in good enough shape to support the weight of the panels. He will also evaluate your electric, make sure it's up to code, make sure everything is in good working order to move forward. This is an important step for us because we also are making determinations of whether or not we need to make some upgrades to your home, where we have a little bit of room built into each one of our leases, where if you know that maybe we need to build out a sub panel in your home, or we might need to put some support beams in the rafters to make sure that the roof is well supported. We can do that unless it becomes a huge job that would be out of our budgetary scope. But that's step 1, is have our engineer take a look at things. From there, once we've determined that we can definitely move forward, we would take care of the permits. We handle all of that. You don't have to lift a finger. Once we get the permits back, we schedule your install. Then we wait for your town inspector to come out and inspect our work. We wait for Eversource to come out. They will actually change your meter to a net meter, which runs in both directions. If you remember, during the day, all your extra electricity is going out to the grid, and then you get to capture that energy at night. The electricity you didn't use during the day, you get to use in the evening as well, or anytime you need it for that matter. So Eversource will change out your meter to a net meter, and then we can turn your system on. You wouldn't have any payments during any of that process until 30 to 45 days after the solar array is up and running, producing your power and decreasing your energy bills. Then you would get a solar lease bill, which would be dependent on the size system. Obviously, a larger system costs more than a smaller system. At some point, we will come out and we'll do the energy efficiency work as well. Because of COVID-19, where we put a pause on those temporarily, but as soon as the governor allows us to do those energy audits, we'll get out and do them. Tried to speak as quickly as I could to keep us on track, and I think I'm not sure if Emily was going to take over from here or if it was going to be Susan.
Yep, thanks, Jonathan. We appreciate you running through there. And just to wrap up, we wanted to give you a snapshot of real PosiGen customers who signed up and what their savings look like. Tonight, we're lucky to have one of your neighbors, Selena, who lives in Bristol, who's gone solar with PosiGen, join us this evening. Selena, I believe you should be unmuted. If you could.
Hello. Yes.
Yep, we can hear you. Thanks for joining us this evening.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you for having me. So I guess I just wanted to say that I'm very happy with PosiGen, and I'm with the solar. When I was first introduced, it was about, I believe, 2 years ago, right, Susan? It's been 2 years now. So since then, I've noticed that a big drastic change on my my energy bill. I used to pay like 200, and especially during in the summer times, I've had bills, and I'm truly believing that this month too will be about the same. But I've had bills where I didn't pay. I paid like at least $1.25 for the month. And it saved me a heck of a lot of money. I had no issues having the panel. I'm glad that I chose to do this because it saved me a lot of money for, annually. And I'm glad I did, sign up as a customer. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Ursulina. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's always good to hear it directly from a customer. And now I just wanted to take a moment to share about another customer, PosiGen Solar for All customer, Melvin, who lives in Bridgeport and went solar in 2015. And so this is just kind of walks through the economics of his project. So if you look in the chart on the left, before he went solar, he was paying $50,000 a year for his electric costs to the utility. He was using about 9,500 kilowatt hours of electricity. And he went solar with PosiGen, signed up for a lease, and the lease cost was $75 per month. And so for a 20-year lease, that would be $18,000 he's paying overall for his solar for 20 years. And so the Green Bank, we provide incentives for every project. He received an incentive from us that we passed on to PosiGen and was discounted in pricing. And afterwards, he was paying his post-solar electric costs were $34,000, and that's including his monthly lease payment. So within his very first year of going solar, Melvin saw $595 of saving, and over the 20 years, he's going to see $16,000 worth of savings from going solar. So needless to say, Melvin is very, very happy. It's a picture of him and his street in Bridgeport. He was the first person to go solar in his street. And you can see his neighbors also followed suit shortly afterwards. And he's become quite the ambassador of the program. So we just wanted to give you a snapshot of the numbers of what it looks like to go solar. So we want to thank you all for joining us this evening. We want to keep it to the 30 minutes as promised. But again, if you'd like to get in contact with anyone or take the next step, the website is listed on the screen as well as the QR code. So you can scan that again by opening your camera phone and hovering over this QR code. A window will pop up and prompt you to go to the PosiGen.com Solar for All Connecticut website. Susan's information, as well as my own, and David Oakes from the City of Bridgeport, the City of Bristol, our emails and phone numbers are on the screen as well. So I want to thank you guys for joining us. We'll be having another webinar on Thursday at 10 a.m. And you can find the webinar information, how you found this one, or again, going to the website or QR code. So I want to thank everyone for joining us and have a great evening.